Hey Clashers, what are the strategies the top pushers are using right now in Builder Base? Because is it Mass Baby Dragon? Is it Mass Pekka? Is it something completely different? We are with the rank 1 clan right now in the world. Or actually, I would stay with them to learn different mechanics and everything over this time about Builder Base, because I mean, you already know by now, I'm super hyped about the Builder Base rework and everything, so I want to become really good at it, and I think there's no better other way than learning with the other best players. So I feel like really glad that they let me in and play with them together, and they have shared already a couple of their attacks, so you out there can learn as well. We have Philip attacking a pretty well upgraded base, I would say. Max Expo, Max Mega Tesla, and many other buildings are already on the max Builder 10 level, while his own troops are not even close to being maxed. With, yes, he's having level 19 Pekka, otherwise it is level 18 defense, or like level 18 troops, I'm sorry, and the Builder 9 maxed out, well, hero. But with that being said, what is the approach? First off, he's using the cannon card at the bottom side to funnel and deal damage to the second layer defenses. With that being said, now we then have the battle machine taking the charge and going for some outside buildings until the point where he's breaking it in. The idea of this is to take down this crusher as early as possible, because take a look at that. As soon as the crusher is down, there's only one double cannon left and the Mega Tesla itself to really be a big threat to those Pekka. Because an air bomb is not really dealing a lot of damage to those Pekka. We have the ranged archer tower, which is not being the biggest threat either, to be honest. So overall, as soon as those buildings are out, those Pekka are looking completely free to overtake this base, with having one Baby Dragon not even placed. The first Baby Dragon was used to funnel those troops into the base to make sure that no one is running around, and the pathing is pretty much straight into the core of the base, into the heart of the base. With the cannon card surviving, he's looking pretty good for the next stage to come. But what is he going to do? Well, the next one, what he's going to do, and what is the most obvious thing, is this exposed crusher. Yes, this defender is not having the auto outpost upgraded yet, because you can one-shot it with a Baby Dragon. That is not how it is later on. And by the way, if you're looking for upgrades, I would definitely recommend to you upgrading the auto outpost, because that is just incredible. Having 5 strong zappies coming out of that, that is a big game changer, trust me. Next stage again is using the cannon card. The cannon card is being such a crucial thing, with then having on the top right side only a few defenses left. The next thing which he sees is that the top defenses are kind of exposed regarding air coverage, because the firecracker is way too far behind, and with that he can pick up those defenses without ever getting really targeted. At least that was the plan. Then the Tesla popped up, but one Tesla is not really the biggest threat, to be honest, so that's why he can easily take it out, take down the double cannon as well, and that's now when he can start with his main push, because remember, he still has the Pekka from the first attack. He has now backend 2 Baby Dragons, because at this point, as soon as he's getting the Arch Tower out of the way, well, there's only one Firecracker, and we all know who's going to win if we have a face-off between one Baby Dragon and a Firecracker. And this time around, we have even 2 Baby Dragons against this poor little Firecracker, and it has no chance whatsoever. So really great attack by Philip with the non-max troops versus a really well-upgraded village overall, but obviously there's way more. I will show you now more attacks, because it's always fun to see the top players attacking in the world and how they actually engage versus those bases. Let's take a look at the next attack and what strategy we are going to witness. The next attack is going to be mass cannon cars. And on this one, I really want to have your feedback about this, because this attack is purely possible because of defenses which are upgraded cannot be used. Now you might be surprised, why am I talking about this? Because the fact is, in a lot of things in the home village, you cannot use defenses which are upgrading. But I think it should be different as you're progressing higher in the trophies in Builder Base, because this is the same thing in the home village. In Legend League, defending, like, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I know, if the defenses are upgrading, you can still use them on defense, right? Isn't that how it works? I think it is, right? So feel like it should be kind of the same way as in Home Village. But with that being said, and one of the long-range defenses, which is the lava launcher being upgraded, he took advantage of that really nicely with using mass cannon carts, which I have not seen before executed like this, which I think is really fun to see with so many cannon carts, and slowly just them getting closer and closer and closer and closer to the core buildings and just outranging them, because he took already those key defenses out, like the Expo, like the Multi-Mortar, which could actually win this range battle. Then in the end, making sure the one cannon cart is surviving, because that is pretty low on hit points. It's going to survive in the end, so he's getting to the next stage. The big question though is, how is he going to actually handle the next stage? Because he has already invested the ground hero, he lost that. He has actually invested a lot of cannon carts, which he needs to keep. He cannot switch that anymore. And he's just adding another cannon cart. That is just crazy. It is incredible. The good thing for him is that one of the archer towers are set to short range mode. This is like the perfect setup for you as a cannon cart attacker. Now, what he does on the next one is the long-range archer tower. He's tanking that with his hero. Okay, this hero is not meant to like get the entire base out or anything like that. It's mainly meant to tank this archer tower, because this now means then that the cannon cart can win that that battle after that. Baby Dragon as well to support that air hero to push through, because at this point you can see it, as soon as this archer tower is gone, there's not much left standing in this base regarding air coverage, which is such an important thing, like that you can time those little pieces together and get a nice overview of different defenses and what their signature move is in the base kinda. A nice push trap is taking at least one of the cannon carts out, but by now, this is already way too late, guys. This is just way too late at this point. The push trap just coming way too late for this. And this means the last building is the auto outpost. And as we all know, if the auto outpost goes down, the zappies don't even spawn if it's the last building, which is nicely done. Next attack, and on this one, it is going to be a lot of Pekka. We all know the spam Pekka, but they are really solid, especially on open bases. I mean, max Pekka versus maxed out bases, it's not as easy. But on this one, we have a really open core and no crushes whatsoever. This means, yes, in the second stage, there's going to be most likely crushers, but I feel like the first stage, that's in a lot of cases, are kind of setting the tone of the attack and deciding on how things are like is going. Because I feel like the first stage, that's most of the time where you as a defender have to force most of the tools of the attacker. And I feel like on this base, that wasn't really working. Take a look at that. He has just so many Pekka left alive. The battle machine left alive. The bomber left alive. This is a lot of troops staying alive with this push, which should never be the thing. With that being said, we have the first stage cleared. We now have to take a look at the second stage, because that's where the crushers are going to be. Because remember, everyone is using the same amount of defenses. So if there are no Tesla, or if there are no crashes in the first stage, this means they have to be then in the second stage. There's no way around. You can't really hide them or rotate them out or anything like that. Always everyone having the same amount of defenses, which is super crucial. Now, next one, we have the firecrackers in the middle, trying to cover as many defenses as possible, but, well, the crusher and the cannon, like the double cannons, are somewhat exposed, and that is a problem for him, because with that Baby Dragon clearing out the Tesla, that is then not easy to get through all of that. With that being said, though, at least the firecrackers are covering this crusher, but the Baby Dragon is not the only air troop he has, because remember, he can still switch between the heroes. And what he does now is uses the air hero. I think he could have used that already a little bit earlier if he wants to, but he just puts them in now, take down the double cannon, and double cannons are one of the biggest nightmares to those Pekka. Now we have the Pekka pushing in, we have those Pekka going straight into the middle of the base, and remember, we have the crushers in there, we have still the Zappy coming out of this auto outpost, and they can deal a lot of damage. But because the first attack just went so smooth, I feel like if the first base would have defended just a little bit better layout wise, this could have been a huge different outcome, because the setup of the second stage was not too bad if you would have protected those double cannons just a tiny little bit better. but still, it's going to be the 3-star in the end. But if you're now thinking, iTzu, some of those attacks were just mass Pekka attacks and so on, but this is just trying to abuse the weakness of the base. Maxed out bases, it's not really working with those mass attacks anymore. I can show you a quick example, okay? So I have by now a maxed out base. I don't have that much time right now to play, unfortunately, and there's still all of the bugs, which makes it even harder for me to play. But you can see, people cannot even get across my first stage because maxed out defenses are kind of rough. And I'm just using this base still, right? Like, which I already posted on YouTube. So it's nothing new or anything like that. And it's still just defending that good because max defense versus max offense, oh boy, mass Baby Dragons and mass Pekka, they're not as strong then anymore. Because Baby Dragons are just benefiting so much from certain defenses are getting two-shotted by the ability, which is then later on not the possibility anymore because the HP buildings are getting from builder level 9 to 10 is just crazy. And that is going to prevent a lot of Baby Dragon attacks overall. Otherwise, thank you so much for so far, you guys, for allowing me to record those attacks. And I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you want to watch any more attacks in the future of those guys because they are just so incredibly good. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys back tomorrow for the next one. Until then, see ya and bye-bye.